Hello there. Welcome back to Make a Stick. We jump into Anki to check the flashcards. We got 2. What is interleaved practice and why is it more effective than block practice? Interleaved practice is practice that's mixing up different skills or subjects within a single study session. It's more effective than block practice because it builds discrimination skills and also flexible retrieval. It's also retrieval versus mass practice is not always retrieval. Retrieval is what leads to learning. It's mixing different problem types or skills in a session. It builds discrimination and retrieval flexibility. I said flexible retrieval. Mix it up a little bit, but leading to stronger, more durable learning. What are desirable difficulties and why do they enhance learning? Desirable difficulties are challenges that impede short-term learning and build better long-term, more durable, stronger knowledge and better learning. They enhance learning because they require more cognitive effort, and the more cognitive effort you use on a retrieval, the more learning it leads to. Challenges that feel harder but promote deeper encoding and stronger memory consolidation through increased cognitive effort. Good enough. Let's call that good. What did we read about yesterday then? We're in the section on how effort helps. We're reading these subsections. There's many of them. I think there's 6 subsections. I'm not quite done. The final one is priming the mind for learning. We're not at that one yet. Improving versatility. I don't think we're at that one either. So we must be broadening mastery. We probably read broadening mastery yesterday. What does broadening mastery mean? We probably read the one before that too. What was broadening mastery though? Oh, it's something there. Right, okay. So, when we interleave in space practice, and even use variable practice, but really I think the main idea from broadening mastery was spaced interleave retrieval. Basically, you have these things in between retrieval attempts and retrievals, right? And these things help to build more associations, and more associations mean more retrieval cues. It means that the memory trace itself gets reconsolidated and more robust. We've got more ways to get to that memory trace via retrieval cues. More pathways, better, robust, actual knowledge itself, and with more associations, it's more easily recalled and more easily applied to new and unique situations, right? Also retrieval in different environments, different times of day, different emotions, different things preceding it. These also add more associations. Okay. So we're missing one, right? The first one was reconsolidating memories, which we did not read yesterday. The next one would have been creating mental models, which I don't think we read yesterday. So we're missing, what's the one after that? Creating mental models. And then it's something, there's the one I'm forgetting, and then it's broadening mastery, improving versatility, and priming the mind for learning. So what one am I forgetting? I don't know. This is a lot of cognitive effort to retrieve. Man, I don't know. cool. No, it was one after fostering conceptual learning. Right, so we're kind of reiterating the point that interleaved and varied practice leads to understanding the deep underlying principles, the conceptual context. Right, we're kind of induction machines, meaning as humans, as children, we see patterns, or we see like data points. We draw patterns, and we make up rules, and we basically go off these rules or patterns until we see evidence otherwise. And this is kind of like how conceptual learning is built as well, is through more data points, so that more patterns can be revealed, and interleaving and varied practice lead to more conceptual understanding through more data points, more different angles of the same thing, so we can see it more clearly and contextually. Okay. Interleaving leads to better pattern recognition. I don't know if that was this time or last time. That's good. Interleaving similar material may be more effective than dissimilar material due to having to learn the intricate differences between similar things. That wasn't yesterday, but we gotta also, to develop conceptual learning, we have to basically start to develop commonalities between things, and also the differences between things, which interleaving and varied practice do well on both. Right, even spaced repetitions, all of them lead to basically finding commonalities and differences between scenarios, examples, etc., than mass practice. Okay. Broadening mastery. All right. Somehow that's all we got through yesterday. Now we're going to read the section on improving versatility, and I'll be back to recall. After this is a short section, one paragraph. All right, guys, just read that section, which was improving versatility. The takeaway of the section is basically, first of all, we learned a concept called transfer of learning. Transfer of learning is the ability to transfer what you learned to new settings. Ability to apply what you've learned in new settings. Okay, transfer learning, the ability to apply what you've learned in new settings. Basically, the idea of this section is spacing, interleaving, and varying practice allow you to or lead to higher levels of transfer of learning than mass practice. Cool. All right, the final section of how effort helps is priming the mind for learning. What is this section about? All right, be back after I read this section. All right, guys, that's it. Another section complete. How effort helps. But this section was, the subsection was priming the mind for learning. The idea here is basically attempting to do or learn something makes subsequent learning, like when you actually learn the thing, it makes that knowledge way stickier. So if you try to do this skill and you can't do it, when you finally do get it and you figure out how to do it, it's way stickier in your memory. So it's priming the mind. Struggling is priming the mind for learning. What is this section about? How effort helps? Basically, a bunch of ways. A bunch of ways that desirable difficulties ways that desirable difficulties lead to better learning. All right, guys. There's the section. We are now one paragraph away from being past, or at least matching where I was last time I got to this. I read this book. I only got to page 87. It was during the school year. I was reading like one paragraph a day. Here we are. About to be into new territory. So I've got quite a lot more time. I'm gonna read, and then I'll be back for a recall, maybe one more time, cycle that, and call it a day. All right, guys, just went a little overboard there. The timer went off, and I still have to recall this stuff because I lost track of time anyway. We're reading a section on other learning strategies that lead to other learning strategies. That incorporate desirable difficulties. That just made me think. Okay, so this first, hold on, sorry, I'm just summarizing because I just realized disruptions to ease to fluency, disruptions to fluency. I just realized the section's called other learning strategies that incorporate desirable difficulties, and then I realized, I've read about two examples. I didn't really summarize them into learning strategies that incorporate desirable difficulties, but there I just did. Basically, this first idea is disruptions to fluency can improve learning through more cognitive effort. This includes like blurry text. The blurrier text leads to slower reading and more deeper encoding and consolidation. Right, giving a lecture out of order compared to giving it in order of the textbook can lead to deeper learning, and having missing letters out of words can lead to more learning, better learning. These are disruptions to fluency that can make learning better, right? Deeper understanding, deeper retention. This is all barring the idea that, or excluding that it's too blurry to read, or there's too many missing letters to even make out the meaning, right? There's a fine line. But yeah, so this first idea of other learning strategies that incorporate desirable difficulties is disruptions to fluency. The second one is basically attempting to do before being taught. So this was all about generation. The generation effect. Generation is kind of like, here we go, attempting to do something or solve a problem or answer a question. These are forms of generation, which are forms of active learning. They're forms of retrieval. And there's two thoughts on why attempting to solve a problem or answer a question or to perform a skill before being taught it lead to deeper learning. One idea is that you're basically activating a retrieval pathway and cue and pathway towards the area that you have the missing information in. Even if you're like, they give an example of what's the capital of Texas, and hold up. You give a bunch of different cities, you can't really recall it, but then you're given the right answer, Austin, and when you're struggling, you're building this pathway from question to, near area. You're getting Texas cities, but you're not really nailing it. There's kind of a missing gap. So that one idea is you're like strengthening this pathway towards the whole and your or gap in your understanding or knowledge, and then that gap gets filled. Now you've already got the pathway towards it. So that's part of the battle of learning is building those retrieval pathways. That's one idea. Then another idea of why it leads to more learning is that the struggling through attempting and generation before learning primes the brain, right? Like we just learned, for deeper consolidation once you learn the thing. All right, that's gonna be it for today. We are officially into unbroken ground. This is the furthest I've ever been in this book. I didn't know it was going to take me 51 days to get here, but here we are. Gonna keep moving. Talk to you guys later. See ya.